Joining us now is a man who won back-to-back MVPs of the biggest league in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has home field advantage all through the playoffs up there in Lambeau Field. Green Bay Packers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, we were just talking about me doing a lot of be here now thoughts to myself about how lucky I am to be alive in the life that I'm living. And I think, that a lot of that might revolve around the conversations and the books that you've been pitching in my life, dude.
Well, you're welcome. But I hear it's more than that. I hear you've been playing golf with Tebow down in Florida or something.
Well,
working on that swing or what?
Well, I have been working on my swing, and I don't want to I'll put the ball in the green if I have to, and if there's a chance to get tackled by Tim Tebow after a great golf shot, I will absolutely, hopefully show up in a big one. You're an asshole. You are. The absolute.
It's what I heard. What happened?
Well, I don't know. Did AJ tell you that? AJ told you? All right, let's move along. We don't have a lot of time. You're in the middle of a work.
How you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah, how you doing? Keep it moving. I wish I was there. I would have shown up for Tebow. If that was me, I would have done that and maybe get tackled into the water. Is there any gators in that water? I mean, that should be talked about going forward, but you're right.
Just the Lord.
Just the Lord in there and Lord Savior in there. Aaron, let's talk about this week. You're in the middle of a work day right now. You're playing on Saturday, so today is Wednesday. We appreciate some of your time. How's the vibe around the building? You're getting a lot of guys back. It's playoff football. This is what you work all year for. I assume the Packers team's ready to fucking go. Yeah.
It's been a nice week off. Got to watch some football. Guys got to get a little bit healthier, I think, and it's good to be back on the practice field. It was, kind of warm day out of practice, like in the, low 20s. After last Friday's minus 15 wind chill, it was, pretty brisk, pretty nice. But it's, it's good to be back at work. There's 8 teams left, out of 32 still playing. Fun to be one of those 8. Got to figure out how to be one of the 4 left after this weekend.
Hey, do you guys pay attention to all of this talk about how the Niners are the scariest team and they have the formula to beat you and all this? Is that anything that LaFleur or anyone even has to bring up?
I mean, I hope not. Look, it's the best 4 teams in the NFC are still left. We played 2 of them this season. It's all about how you're playing and how healthy you are late in the season. Those are teams that make the run. Niners been playing really well. We played them early in the season. When we were 1-1, it was an important game for us. And, we pulled it out right at the end and at their place with a 51-yarder by Mason. They're a big physical football team. They got a lot of playmakers. A couple guys banged up on defense, so we'll see what's the status with those guys. But everybody's good at this time. Everybody has a recipe to beat everybody else. There's a reason there's 4 teams left, and it's these 4 in the NFC. Same in AFC. Everybody's got a recipe that they've figured out to win football games, and they're going to put it on the field on Saturday, and we're going to put our recipe and see who comes out on top.
Did you watch Wild Card Weekend? Do you watch all the games? Do you get trapped in that? Is it hard not to just start breaking down film and predicting who you're potentially going to play and might run into? And the 4 out of the 6 games being blowouts. Expected, not expected? Is there that big of a differential between the top teams and the bottom teams that are in the playoffs, you think?
Well, they wanted to obviously add a seventh team. The 7th team, I don't believe, is won yet. Since they've done that, obviously the 2 seeds are used to getting byes. They both had big blowout wins. I thought the other games were pretty competitive for the most part. 4 or 5 is always kind of a pick 'em, it seems like, and it was division opponents on our side. There were a couple good games, a couple blowouts, but we knew that our opponent could have the possibility of being determined on Sunday. And if that was so, we'd play Saturday. If not, we'd have the winner Monday. So either way, it'd be a 6-day week for our opponent, which is nice being the high seed and having to have them come to us. But no, it was, we're all football fans, I think, for the most part. So it was fun watching the game. There's definitely some interesting things that happened and interesting calls along the way, too.
By the refs and by coaches, I assume you're referring to, so we'll dive into that at some point. How come, in your eyes, you've been around the NFL a long time, Played in a lot of big-time games, have won a lot of things. Back-to-back MVPs. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Aaron's looking around. He's like, you guys don't want one of these? No. How about one of these? Last 2 years.
What?
MVP last year. MVP this year. Am I going back to waterfall jumping in the offseason? Probably. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, dude. But why do you think some teams have the ability to withstand the drop-offs that happen to a lot of teams late in the season? I mean, a lot of people are talking about the Cardinals, and obviously DeAndre Hopkins gets hurt. But what do you think it is about some teams that are able to win those close games or continue to go on and have success versus some of the teams that lay eggs? Do you have any thoughts on that and why that potentially happens?
I mean, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Belief is one, for sure. Confidence, obviously, is a part of that belief. Mental toughness. There's some people that don't believe in mental toughness. I think mental toughness is kind of a broad term for a lot of different characteristics, like focus, like determination, work ethic, all these different things that kind of go into that ability to kind of put your best ball on the field and then get through adversity. Teams, I think that are still standing have all faced adversity throughout the season in various forms. The Niners have been in a playoff mode the last few weeks, obviously having to beat the Rams to get in, and then going on the road and beating the Cowboys. The Tampa Bay has obviously had a lot of injuries and dealt with their own adversity. Same with the LA Rams, who almost lost the division, went from the 2 seed to the 4 seed. In the last week of the season, playing the Niners. So I think the best teams that are left are all very strong mentally teams and teams that know how to win, these type of games. So it's kind of big boy football at this point, and there's 4 great teams left who all, have different ways of getting it done, and we're lucky to be hosting this game.
Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, the opposing quarterback for the Niners, he's coming in. He's got a torn ligament in his thumb, and I'm just curious, have you ever had any issues with your throwing hand, not your shoulder, like your actual hand, whether it be broken fingers or torn ligaments, and how difficult that could be? And also, we're hearing the high is like 1 Saturday night in Lambeau, which means it'll be below 0 with wind chill. Like, also, how could that affect it? Can you imagine being out there throwing when your hand is messed up too?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be definitely something that'll be difficult. It's always difficult to throw when it gets really, really cold. If you have some sort of ailment with your hand, I would assume that would make it a little more difficult too. Farvey, I know, broke his thumb and kept playing and would talk about, tell some stories from that year from time to time about how difficult it was to get your grip on a ball that's even slicker and feels fuller. But yeah, I broke my index finger, my first start of my career at Illinois. In the second quarter, we were running 750 Gator, and I came up to throw the backside post, and my right tackle was about 6'7", and I threw it and hit my hand on his helmet, broke my finger, and came to the sideline. I told Coach Tedford, "Hey, I think I broke my finger." He said, "I don't give a shit. You're not coming out." I said, "Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying I was going to. I just want you to know that I think I might have broke this thing." He said, "Just get out there." And then the next week he was great, and that's what I love about Coach, because he could always inspire me in the best ways. He said, "Okay, look, you might have a broken finger. You can miss 1 day of practice, and then if you don't practice the rest of the week, you're not playing." So here I am with a distal fracture on my index finger, and I got to sit out on I think Monday, right? And then Tuesday I was right back out there practicing, because that's what we do. So it definitely made it difficult at times to throw it. I think as far as fingers that would be most difficult, pinky pinky and ring and middle are obviously less important than the pointer and the thumb. So pointer and the thumb would definitely make it a little more difficult in the cold if they're banged up.
Hey, that turtleneck's coming out, huh?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be below 32?
Oh, yeah.
At least it's going to be below 0.
Dickie. You wear the Dickie, right?
Oh, maybe wear one of those scuba suits like Mac Jones had.
Yeah.
One of those ones like this and Tom Brady has. You know what I mean?
What?
What? Go ahead, Ty.
Aaron, you guys playing them in week 4 already this year. Is there really anything you can take away from that game, like when you're preparing for this weekend, or is it kind of, that was so far ago, you guys are different teams now? Is there really anything like in the film or the preparation that you'll take from that week 4 game against the 49ers?
Yeah, Ty, I think you have to, because you have to look at the arc of teams. Teams will play certain ways throughout the season, and it's nice to see who's playing in that early time, how are they playing, and then look at games in the middle and then at the end to see if there's some sort of commonality about the style of play or the way certain players are playing or what type of coverages they're doing. Because every year a team is going to find those specific concepts or personnel packages that seem to work the most. It's just an analytics game now. You're going to see what the percentages are on if you're playing nickel or dime or base to sub or cross matching or certain coverages or what type of pressures you like, and teams will come up with tendencies both offensively and defensively on things that have gotten to this point. That's why when it comes down to these games, it's all about the execution in those moments and which guys can step up and make those big time plays to get you over the hump.
And every single defense is one that you try to calculate in before every single snap a full calculation in your head? And how exhausting does that get?
I mean, it's kind of autopilot at some point with some of it, the calculations, and obviously if it's a run play, there's a few less calculations. But I think that the whole process is becoming an expert of what you're doing and then being able to see the other side of the ball and then be able to put it all together. And that's the growth of a quarterback, from a young player to a savvy veteran. And once you get to the point where you can put it all together on every snap, then your mind is making calculations, but it, subconsciously almost, and you're kind of on autopilot a little bit with some of that information download and kind of stream of consciousness when you're out there. So, I mean, you're always evaluating situations, but you have to leave room. The most important thing to me, I think, is you got to leave room for those instincts. You got to leave room for the ability to react in the moment appropriately based on the visualization process, the study of your plan, study of the opponent, and then the reliance on intuition and feel and instincts in those moments.
So we talked to you a couple weeks ago about, you said you were just enjoying ball. Like, hey, you love ball, right? And then you talk about how if you change anything in the playoffs, that means you weren't doing things right all year long, and the Packers ain't going to be changing shit. All right? We ain't panicking or anything. But is there a different feel going into each meeting of this playoff week, especially for you with everything going on with the Packers? Is there a different feeling of enjoying every single moment? Not that you didn't have it before, but is there anything different in the playoffs for you mentally going in?
Not really. I don't think so. I mean, you're already trying to enjoy it. I think the right perspective is how special these opportunities are individually. Like I said before, there's 8 teams that are still playing. There's 24 that, are into their off season. That's pretty special. How do we make sure that we're one of the 4 that moves on after this weekend? Because then that's a special feeling, and we've been there many times. And then how do we make sure from that 4 we're one of the final 2? And give ourselves an opportunity to lift the trophy. So I think in the process of that, it's not bad to manifest those things, to think about those things, to imagine yourself in those situations, and also still having a great acute focus on the task at hand and how special this opportunity is and this moment and this game on Saturday night against a great opponent, a very well-coached football team with great players on both sides of the ball. So I think that's how I'm approaching it. I think we got good leadership on this team. It's exciting seeing some of the guys who are coming back and knowing how special they are and the impact they can have. And then, we just got to find a way to put it all together for 60 minutes with our guys who've been playing and our guys who haven't been playing as much.
Hey, how's the toe feel now after some time off? And also, are you ever going to let people know how you did this? I think Pat and I said you were kicking a heavy bag, and I think some people may have ran with that. I don't know what the case is, but I figured you're hiding it for a reason.
Well, you called Dr. Joe Rogan, and he said, well, you need to take the antibodies, you need to do this, and also beat the fuck out of a jiu-jitsu bag.
Yep.
That's what Dr. Joe Rogan does. That guy brings and he had this donkey kick I seen.
Spin kick?
Yeah. Is that what happened, or was it a table? Was it a chair at the middle of the night you had to go pee because you're so hydrated?
So they ran with that, but they didn't run with AJ's statement about hurting it while I was smoking DMT with Dr. Joe Rogan. Isn't that what you said, Age? I feel like at one point you said
that's still out there. You didn't deny it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas out there potentially, but will we ever know how it happened? And is it something that was just like middle of the night, stub your toe? Holy shit! Is that COVID toe? No, I actually just fractured my shit. Are we ever going to find out?
Look, man, I told you I didn't have COVID toe, and I heard it during COVID. So it was a COVID injury. COVID time injury, but not COVID toe. And I think that's all that needs to be said. As far as how it's feeling, it feels really good. There's still some achiness from time to time, but I think at this point I'm as close to 100% as I'm going to get for the rest of the season. So it's not an issue. I've been practicing every single day now. There's a little discomfort, but I feel good.
Hey, we appreciate you. We know you got to get back to work. You have an interview with Kay Adams coming up. She's very excited for it, obviously. She enjoys these segments massively.
That one's already done. That's in the can, yeah.
How'd it go? Did we get some good shit out of that? Did you sign an extension and tell her? Anything like that? We got any good stuff coming?
Well, you guys have ruined interviewing me, right? That's what Kay said.
Yeah.
Because I admit so much on this show to you boys. It's hard for anybody else to ask questions or to do follow-ups. What?
For instance, I hope she got how you injured your toe. That is an outstanding issue that we have not checked off the box. We can't wait to watch you and the boys on Saturday night. Good luck. Stay warm. We'll see you next week, brother.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Take care.
Hey, by the way.
Next week, we got a good book for sure. Oh, you read it? You've been reading it?
From the Book of Mark? Absolutely, dude. I've been reading little verses and some stuff all day. It's been amazing.
Did Connor break that down for you yet or not?
Yeah, we were actually just talking about the 3 subtleties, if you recall.
Oh, yeah, the 3 subtleties. It's not just like not caring, because that's a psychopath. And we're not trying to be a psychopath. We just got the subtleties of somebody that gives casual fucks as opposed to no fucks. Anyways, you've been dominating all year. Congrats on another MVP. Good luck this weekend. We can't wait to watch. You're the best.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
How'd you hurt your toe, dude?